here. Hi.
Meet Jackie and Daniel, parents of 7-month-old twins Isaac and Lulu. On this typical day, everyone seems well-rested and content. But as you can imagine, it wasn't always that way.
When we got home from the hospital in the first few weeks, we were sleeping down here. Jackie had the couch, I had a mattress on the floor, and I was getting no sleep. Half an hour, 45 minutes at a time, maximum.
You both look very peaceful, swaddled.
But Daniel and Jackie had a plan, developed as soon as they discovered twins were on the way.
Bless you.
Based on encouraging Isaac and Lulu's natural sleep patterns.
This is the soundtrack of my life.
Unfortunately, newborns don't have much to work with. Their systems have yet to develop the circadian rhythm, the body's way of knowing when it's time to be awake or sleepy.
Really early, there's not much you can do besides sort of that establishing day from night. So in the morning, we would open up all the windows and have them sit in sunny spots. And then as the day went on, dim lights, close shades so that it was darker.
As the baby grows from birth to 3 months of age, you'll start to see a little bit more of the circadian rhythm, not the way we think of circadian rhythm for the older children and adults. There's a little bit there at birth, but it really kicks in, becomes strong at about 3 or 4 months of age.
And that's why experts say 4 to 6 months is the golden age to develop good sleep habits that will stay with your baby the rest of his or her life.
Big girl.
As the babies grew, Jackie and Daniel did all the right things.
We tried to be consistent with the bedtime, tried to be consistent with when we had our meals and when they had their meals.
Next came a nighttime routine, which included a warm bath, a dimly lit room, and a bedtime book.
And everyone would talk in sort of low voices, and that was sort of our wind down. And then we would swaddle them, put them in their beds, tell them that it was bedtime, and give them pacifiers. And sometimes they resisted sleep, but eventually they became sleepy earlier in the routine. So we might be reading a book and they would start yawning, and we would look at each other and get excited. Like, oh, they're going to go to sleep. So really it was the consistency and being a team, us deciding together these are the things we're going to do and sticking to them.
They also avoided the trap that many parents fall into, rocking the baby to sleep.
And the reason that's wrong is because the baby gets used to falling asleep in the parent's arms. So the real key is to rock the baby until the baby is very drowsy, not quite asleep, but drowsy. And then put the baby in the crib, maybe pat on the back a little bit. The baby will maybe stretch a little bit and yawn and then fall asleep. And the actual act of falling asleep then is alone in the crib.
Which, as you can see, is exactly what Isaac and Lulu do.
If we can teach that at bedtime, then that's what the baby will do at night when the baby wakes up. In the crib, alone, dark, fall back asleep.
This is unparalleled. He hasn't slept 9 hours in a week total.
Jackie and Daniel remember the first time the babies slept through the night.
After a few hours, we kind of looked at each other and we're just, are they really going to sleep all night? Is there any way that this can happen?
I remember sitting up in bed, like bolting up in bed, and thinking we had missed them crying or them waking up, and we went in the room and like checked on them to make sure that they were in there and sleeping, and they were.
In fact, they were sleeping like babies. For WebMD, I'm Sandy Lamott.